Panic here. Sorry about the late, Bible reading today. I had a potential client at 8. Didn't work out, unfortunately, but sometimes, okay, still not live in the group yet. Oh, there we are. Video go live. All right. And we are live. What's up, everybody? Jeffrey Bannock. Sorry for the late startup. We're live in the group. We're now going to be finishing up Exodus today, 36 through 40. Yeah. So, and then tomorrow we'll be starting Psalm. Sorry I did the late startup. Like I was saying before we started in the group, I had a potential sales call. Didn't work out, but that's okay. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's reading. So, Bezalel. I don't, man, these guys, I need to learn them. Holiab, and every skilled person whom the Lord had given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary, or to do the work just as the Lord had commanded. When Moses summoned Bezalel and Oliab, every skilled person whom the Lord had given ability to and is willing to come and do the work, they received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers were doing all the work on the sanctuary, left what they were doing. And Moses said, the people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done. Then Moses gave an order, and they sent his word throughout the camp. No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary. And so the people were restrained from bringing more because they had already had more than enough to do all the work, the tabernacle. All those who were skilled among the workers made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn with cherubim woven into cherubims. Those little angels. That's what those little cherubim, woven into them by expert hands. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 other curtains together into the same with the other 5. They made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and the same done with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loop on the end curtain of the other set, with loops opposing each other. They then made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the 2 sets of curtains together so the tabernacle was a unit. They made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains into one set and the other 6 into another set. They made 50 loops altogether, the edges of the curtain in one set and also along the edges of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. They they made for the tent a cover of ram skin dyed red and covered that and over that a covering of the other durable leather. They made upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with the projections set parallel to each other. They made all the frames out of the tabernacle this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle. They made 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, one in each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames for the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle, and 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these 2 corners, the frames were double from the bottom all the way up to the top and fitted together into a single ring. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames, one on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west and at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so it extended from one end to in the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen and cherubims woven in it by a skilled worker. They made 4 cherubim. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them and cast their 4 silver bases. For the entrance to the temple, they made a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. And they made 5 posts with hooks in them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their baskets with gold and made their 5 bases of bronze. Right. The ark. Bez, 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 Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood 2.5 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide and a cubit and a half high. He overlaid it with pure gold on both inside and out and made a gold molding around it. He cast 4 gold rings for it and fastened them to its 4 feet with 2 rings on each side and 2 rings on the other side. He then made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold, and he inserted the poles into the rings on the side of the ark to carry it. He made the atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 wide. He then made 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover, made 1 cherub on one end and the second cherub on the other. Cherub at the other end. At the 2 ends he made one. At the 2 ends he made them of one piece with the cover. The cherubim had their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim faced each other. That's not right. Looking towards the cover, the tablet. They made the tablet of acacia wood 2 cubits long and a cubit wide and a cubit and a half high. They overlaid it with pure gold and made a gold molding around it. They also made around it a rim handbreadth wide and put a gold molding on the rim. They cast 4 gold rings for the tablet and fastened them to the 4 corners where the legs were. The rings were put close to the rim to hold the poles used to carry the tablet. That's not tablet, table. Used in carrying the table. The poles are carrying the table were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with gold. And they made from pure gold the articles for the tablet, its plates and dishes and bowls, its pitchers for the pouring out of drink offering. The lampshade. They made the lampshade of pure gold. They hammered it out its base and shaft and made its flower like cups, buds, and blossoms of one piece with them. 6 branches extended from the sides of the lampshade, 3 on the one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms were on one branch, 3 on the next branch, and on the same all 6 branches extended from the lampshade. In the lampshade were 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud was under the first pair of branches extending from the lampshade, the second bud under the second pair, and a third bud under the third pair, 6 branches in all. The buds and branches were all of one piece with the lampshade, hammered out of pure gold. They made its 7 lamps as well as its wick trimmers and trays of pure gold. They made the lampshade and all its accessories from 1 talent of pure gold, the altar of incense. They made the altar incense out of acacia wood. It was square, a cubit long and a cubit wide and 2 cubits high, its horns of one piece with it. They overlaid the top and all the sides and the horns with pure gold and made a gold molding around it. They made 2 gold rings below the molding, 2 on each side of the opposite side, to hold the poles used to carry it. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. They also made the sacred anointing oil and the pure fragrant incense, the work of a perfumer. All right. 38. The altar of burnt offering. They built the altar burnt offering of acacia wood 3 cubits high. It was square, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits wide. They made a horn each of the four corner. They made a horn at each of the four corners, so that the horns in the altar were of one piece. And they overlaid the altar with bronze. They made all the utensils of bronze, its pots, shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. They made a grating for the altar, a bronze network to be under its ledge halfway up the altar. They cast bronze rings to hold the poles for the four corners of the bronze grating. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. They inserted the poles into the rings so they would be on the sides of the altar for carrying it. They made it hollow out. They made it hollow out of boards. Basin for washing. They made the bronze basin and its bronze stands from the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the courtyard. Next, they made the courtyard. The south side was 100 cubits long and a curtain of finely twisted linen, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The north side was 100 cubits long and 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The west end was 50 cubits wide and curtains with 10 posts and 10 bases with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The east end towards the sunrise